of the Afghanistan peace process, while the American envoy Zalmay Khalilzad made the announcement of a draft agreement that's been arrived at by the two sides, the US and Taliban. A massive car bomb explosion rocked the Afghanistan capital of Kabul. This was last night. At least 16 people were killed in that attack, which took place near the international complex. At least 100 others were injured. The Taliban has claimed responsibility for the attack. A number of houses were destroyed. Afghan officials warning that the death toll could rise. Gunfire was heard in the area along with a second blast. The night sky filled with plumes of smoke as a nearby petrol station also caught fire. Dozens of people were taken to the Wazir Khan Hospital. The blast took place near the Green Village, which houses aid agencies and international organizations. A Taliban spokesperson said that it was a coordinated attack with a suicide bomber and gunmen involved.
ورزان به که شهید شول دوم خورایین به که زخمیان دی کرم به که زخمی دی زخپل زخمی ما بول زومی زخمی دی
تعداد 50 زخمی و 2 شهید و شفاخانه ما وزیر اکبر خان امشب انتقال کرده که با تمام زخمی‌ها خدمات صحی لازمه و ممکن و قابل دسترس که در پیش ما بود انجام شده برشان.
Now, the timing of this attack is crucial. The attack took place as the U.S. Special Envoy Zalmay Khalilzad's interview was being aired on Afghanistan's television channel Tolo News. Khalilzad was discussing a draft deal that the U.S. had struck with the Taliban, and just when he was making that announcement and speaking about it, that attack took place. Now, American troops from 5 bases will be leaving Afghanistan in 135 days is what Khalilzad was mentioning as a part of that interview, saying that the agreement has not been finalized yet. It was awaiting the nod of US President Donald Trump. Khalilzad called on Afghanistan President Ashraf Ghani and Afghanistan Chief Executive Abdullah Abdullah and handed over a draft of the US Taliban agreement. After that meeting, the Afghanistan president's spokesperson said that Ghani hoped that this would lead to the end of violence and direct talks with the Taliban.
But for us, a meaningful peace or a path to a meaningful peace is the end of violence and a direct negotiation with the Taliban. So we hope very much that whatever has been done so far by us and by the US in the past so many months, we hope that it will result to a ceasefire, it will result to a direct talks, and finally we could convince the Taliban to abandon violence against the Afghans. And absolutely that will also lead us to a settlement.
The U.S. Special Envoy has been spending about a year negotiating with the Taliban. Even as the U.S. is inching closer towards a peace agreement, violence has surged across Afghanistan. Taliban attacked the capital of Baghlan province just on Sunday. At least 4 civilians and 2 security personnel were killed. Dozens were injured in that attack. The NATO Secretary General condemned the recent attacks in Afghanistan. On Twitter, he said that he has held discussions with the U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, and he fully supports the efforts to achieve peace in Afghanistan. Our Pakistan Bureau Chief Anas Malik has been tracking those negotiations very closely. A year of discussions, Anas, several rounds of deliberations, but no end to the violence. It's only surged across Afghanistan, and the latest attack is testimony to the message that the Taliban has been trying to send out.
Well, absolutely, Molly. Last year, since the 12th of September last year is when the first round of negotiations between the United States and the Taliban formally had commenced in Doha. And since then, there have been at least 9 rounds of talks between the United States and the Taliban. Initially, we saw that those rounds of talk were facilitated by Pakistan. Even now, they have been facilitated by Pakistan. But now Pakistan is not directly involved in the process. While the United States and Taliban are inching towards an agreement, the Taliban don't seem to give up their offensive, their spring offensive, that is Al-Fatah. It is still continuing on. And interestingly, just last night, Zalmay Khalilzad, while his interview was being aired at Afghanistan's most known television channels, a blast rocked the Afghan capital of Kabul, the PD9 district, and that killed at least 16 people while injuring another 100. Now, this is not the first time that PD9 had been targeted. Green Village in PD9, in Police District 9, houses international organizations and international aid organizations. Earlier this year in January as well, similar attack took place. Both have been claimed by the Taliban, and while the US and Taliban negotiate on for a peace agreement, the Taliban don't seem to give up their spring offense as we speak. In fact, what Taliban sources are also telling, when we spoke to some, they said that there is an offense that is being planned on Kabul as well. Remember, the Taliban on Friday had claimed of taking over Kunduz city, the city of Kunduz, and they're saying that now they're marching towards Kabul. The Taliban Lashkars or Taliban armed deployment, they're marching towards Kabul from different areas with heavy weaponry. But what remains to be seen is that will this peace agreement that calls for an immediate slashdown of about 5,400 troops in 135 days or roughly 20 weeks, will this lead towards peace in Afghanistan, towards long-term peace in Afghanistan and sustainability? That remains to be seen. Yes, Molly.
Right, so that's the larger message that comes in through the latest attack that has now struck Afghanistan. We're going to leave it there for the moment. Anas Malik getting us the latest as far as the negotiations also are concerned.